Bienvenue chez Tim. Thanksgiving often brings back unhappy culinary experiences, largely memories of overcooked dry turkey and perhaps some watery mashed potatoes. Today's menu is going to be a contemporary take, not a traditional one, but will include many lovely items, including a take on pheasant under glass. Our pumpkin chiffon tart begins with making a crust. Thus far I have some rich crackers, some pecans, and some sugar into this food processor, and I'm going to start by grinding that. Next goes melted butter, enough to hold that together. These are now pressed into a tart pan into the bottom, and so we go on to making the filling. Here I have some pumpkin that I put in here. It's unsweetened pumpkin right out of a can. And with this, of course, we'll have to sweeten it, so I'm going to use coconut sugar and heavy cream. This now needs to cook for about 5 minutes very gently, and then let it completely cool off, and we'll go on with the chiffon part. While our pumpkin is cooling, I'm going to add a few spices. There's some pumpkin pie spice, and I think some vanilla would be nice in that, and also some cognac. Can't go wrong with that. And I think that's just about it. We'll just stir that in now and let it continue to chill here. When it gets to room temperature, we can go on. The pumpkin has cooled, and now you see I have some whipped cream. And we'll just work this in little by little. You know the trick. You go down and you flip up and you just gently put that in. The tarts are now filled, and we'll put that in the refrigerator to cool. They should chill several hours, even overnight would be better. I attempted to make some decoration for our tart. It started out with trying to make a cage, and then there was nothing but trouble. It refused to come off a teacup, and then it exploded a water balloon, and basically what I have are shards. I mean, you can still decorate with that. It'd be quite lovely. And I also made some, well, I guess you'd call it angel hair. Let me see if you can see that. That could work nicely too. So sometimes you just have to go with what you've got and improvise, and so that's what we'll do when it comes time to serve this dessert. Pheasants are somewhat of a mystery to most people. I have one here. This one is not a wild one, it's a farm-raised one, which would mean that it has a less gamey flavor. The ones that you do get in the wild are pretty strong. Back in my student days in Vienna, I used to go down to the farmer's market, and they would just cut the breast right off for you. They'd call it a schnitzel, a faisan, and you take that home, you pick the buckshot out of it, and then continue from there. It was a dark red meat. This one won't be that way because, as I said, it's farm-raised. And to give you an indication of size, it's like a small chicken. That's a squab by comparison, so it's much smaller. The recipe I'm making today comes from René Verdon. He used it at the White House when he was Jackie Kennedy's chef, and in fact he served this to the Shah of Iran and Princess Farah. The stuffing begins with breadcrumbs, and he used black currant, which is almost impossible to find here. So what I have done is I've used prunes and also some blueberries, which look a lot like black currant, and I soaked them in Grand Marnier. Now it needs some seasoning, which would be quatre épices and a pinch of fleur de sel, and then butter. I've taken the fillet off the pheasant, and I've made a little pocket here where I'm going to insert this stuffing. Just like that. And then this is the tenderloin part. You can kind of just rearrange that there. Since pheasant is a very dry meat, it has no fat. You have to be so careful. It dries out in the oven. Even interlarding it, I've had trouble before. So sous vide has come to the rescue. This is the way to have perfectly moist pheasant. So I have it in a freezer bag here with a pat of butter, and we're going to just submerge that into the frothing water. And that's all there is to it. It needs to cook at 62 degrees centigrade for about an hour. The sauce begins with a demi-glace. This one happens to be a vegetable one, largely based on beet, therefore the color is kind of reddish. And with this I'm going to put a little bit of balsamic vinegar and also some honey. And to keep the cassis theme, the black currant, I'm going to add creme de cassis to that. And we'll boil this down till it's really a nice thick syrup, and then add butter to it. The final ingredient is the butter to make an enrichment to it. And one other thing, a surprise. Put a handful of fresh blueberries into it. That will look just like cassis or black currant. And then when this, you want to just gradually stir that in. And then it will just go on to put it somewhere on a back burner and keep it warm. The pheasant has just come out of the sous vide. It's all wet, so I'm going to towel dry that. And then I'm going to put it in a cast iron skillet and brown it. A very hot cast iron skillet, and just brown the skin. I did want to mention that the pheasant under glass, the classic recipe is kind of a sauce Périgord with foie gras, and it can have black truffles and demi-glace and even mushrooms in it. This is obviously a more modern take on that, and we'll have a little joke with the under glass part in a minute. It's time to put the pheasant together. I have molded already a little bit of chestnut puree, and then of course here is a slice of pheasant. I want you to look at that beautiful stuffing there. We're just going to put that right on top. And I think maybe just a few parsley leaves would look nice here and there. Might even put it in here. Now, let's wait on that. Let's put the sauce on next. Just dribble it around there a little. Now I think the parsley. And there you have it, pheasant under glass, worthy of a king, and for a very festive Thanksgiving. And I hope you all do have one. Bon appétit!